name is Dr. Hameed Nuru, and I'm the Senior Policy and External Affairs Director for GALVmed, the Global Alliance for Livestock Veterinary Medicines, which is a major sponsor of this event, the All-African Conference for Animal Agriculture. I've been involved from the onset with the part of the organization, and we are very happy and delighted to be a part sponsor of this organization. We think it's a very good forum for bringing African scientists together for addressing the issues of livestock, because we find that livestock tends to be very neglected when you look at it in comparison with other agricultural products such as crops. So putting livestock on the agenda is a very big issue for us as GALVmed, and we feel that this meeting now, which we've had today, which has to do with the with animal health aspects. Other people have been dealing with trade, but we're looking at diseases, animal health in particular. And it has been a very stimulating discussion. A lot of presentations have come out from Ethiopia, the host country. A lot of research, basic research, has been done on the ground, primary research on disease, and we feel that it needs to be taken to the next level. However, we've noticed that there's a lot of lack of funding to take it to the next level. So you can get sponsorship for small primary stuff on the ground, but then to take it to the next level is really a big problem. So that has been identified in this particular group. The other thing that we have noted is that there's a change in the environment, and this has brought changes in two ways. Diseases, you're now seeing new diseases coming up in Africa that we've never seen before. And even the local people who keep these animals are now seeing these new diseases, and they're registering their concern. So we need to be positioning ourselves more appropriately so that we can be able to tackle these new diseases in terms of making a diagnosis and also control of these new diseases which are coming out. The second changes that we're seeing are in markets. Markets are changing. Things are becoming trade-oriented. People are now putting value to their animals, to their livestock, and it's changing the dynamics of markets. This, of course, pushes commercialization. A classic example in this group was that the pig industry in Tanzania, which was really next to nothing in the past, has now suddenly become a very major contributor towards local economy and also to some extent for the export. This is a change, and we need to take recognition of that, especially in terms of disease and disease control. The third thing that came out from this session, which is the animal health session, is the issue of surveillance. Surveillance for disease, looking for disease, not waiting for the disease to come and then you start running around at the last minute, but predicting disease with data by doing surveillance. Our surveillance systems are very weak in Africa, and we need to look at a more localized surveillance system, harmonized within the region and also within Africa, and networking within ourselves to disseminate and share this information. It is very, very critical if we're still going to be players in the landscape coming in the near future. The fourth thing that we've seen is that there's a great potential for genetics, animal genetics in Africa. We have a lot of genetic potential, and we need to harvest or harness this. A classic example is within trypano-tolerant cattle, and examples were given in Ethiopia here, where we have breeds which are trypano-tolerant. We need to harvest this now and look at the diversity of our genetic potential and try to address that, especially when it comes to disease resistance. And then the fourth, but not the last, the fifth, but not the last issue that we also talked about was the European Union and the barriers that we have to trade. The barriers that have been put in place that prevent, or rather applying standards that are being done in Europe to Africa, when obviously it's very clear that many African countries, in fact majority, cannot meet those standards, and it's a barrier to us. So us ourselves understanding what these barriers are, that's one. Two, having an African perspective on these barriers, coming together as Africans and deliberating and taking a position, and therefore having a unified voice on how we can go to WTO meetings and other meetings and voice our opinion, because all the raw product basically comes from Africa most of the time. That is very important to us. At the same time also, we want to look at it in terms of being proactive and establishing partnerships with Europe and other trade partners, because Europe is not the only market for African products. I mean, we have other markets that we can exploit if we feel that the barriers are too inhibiting. But I think partnerships to try to make these barriers, the barriers that we have, break down or become more amenable to us is something that we need to look at in terms of disease. Thank you very much.